Hi there, I'm Nail and welcome to Simply Nail. If you enjoy the content on this channel, please feel free to subscribe. Thank you. And if you're new to this channel, thank you for watching. I am Nail, and as I said before, this is Simply Nail, and this is a spot. I'm in my tiny studio, and I am a fiber and jewelry artist. So as you see, I have yarn up here, and I have a cowl that I made, and I'm wearing a beautiful beaded scarf that I designed, and that's, I have some art on the wall. And this is my tiny studio, and welcome to it. And as I said, this is Simply Nail, and in my tiny studio I like to talk about things that I am passionate about. And sometimes I'm going to be talking about, crochet because I'm a fiber artist, or jewelry because I design jewelry, and I might be talking about the things that I do when I'm designing jewelry and crochet, which is watch, I listen and watch television. So you might pop on here one day and I'm talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, New Jersey, New York. Wait a minute. New York. Do you think they're going to cancel the Real Housewives of New York? I think they should, because if they don't get rid of, Ramona and I hate to say this, Luann too, get rid of some of the old schoolers and put some new schoolers on there. I don't think that show, that part of the Real Housewives franchise, I don't think is viable anymore. But anyhow, as I was saying, when you pop on my channel, you might see quite a few different things discussed and topics dissected. And I have a love for Coach purses. I have a vast Coach collection, and I noticed that there are a lot of channels on YouTube about one of my favorite purses, which is Coach, and I would really like to talk about that soon. And I also have some vintage Prada purses that have some Prada hanging on my wall right now. I don't know if you can see it, but yes, I have some Prada. So I would like to sit back and, get into those things with you. Right now, I am celebrating 20 years of dreadlocks. I am a dreadlock diva, and I wanted to hop on YouTube primarily to discuss my 20-year dreadlock journey, because you see a lot of videos on YouTube where people are talking about dreadlocks, and I watched all of you over the years, and there's some of you that I've listened to and I'm like, that's interesting. I think I might try that. And then there's some of you where I say, I don't think so. I don't think so. And there's so much on YouTube, so many people with sharing their experiences of being lock divas and lock gentlemen. And I thought that with 20 years in the game, that I thought that I would pop on here and just offer a little wisdom in this department. Now, just because I'm offering wisdom, I'm not trying to be a know-it-all or be, judgmental or anything of that nature. I need to straighten my scarf there. I'm not trying to be judgmental or, do any of those things or be any of those things, because, that's not cool. But when a person is looking for advice, they're looking for help. And a lot of times when you jump on YouTube or you jump on the internet and you're seeking guidance, a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. I mean, a lot of people think they know, but they really don't know. And it's kind of a situation where the blind is leading the blind. And I felt that what better way to celebrate 20 years of wearing dreadlocks? What better way is there to celebrate And I can't figure out a better way to celebrate without, you know, sharing the journey with you, and sharing the things that I have learned and the mistakes that I have made over the years. And why not share it? And you know, that's what life is all about, right? Life is about not just getting the things that you want out of it and moving on. The life is about learning and discovering things, and sharing those things that you've discovered and the knowledge that you've attained, sharing that with other people and helping them out as well. And so that's why I said, well, let me hop on here and let me share what I have learned with someone else who may, you know, the gems that I have mined, and let me share those gems with others and possibly help them, and they can pass those gems on to other people. You know, why not? So today I want to talk about the obvious. Yes, it's 20 years in the game for me. I start in the dreadlock world, dreadlock game for me, and I started my dreadlocks, I think I was 34. At 34 years old, I began my dreadlock journey. And today I am, what? 54. I am 54 years old. And as you see, when I started my journey, my hair was completely black, of course. And I maybe had one or two strands of white in my hair, or gray. My hair doesn't really gray. My hair actually turns white, and that is a genetic feature of my family. So my hair began to turn white, you know, in different, you know, stranding and streaks when I was about 34. And over the years, my hair has slowly began the process of turning white. I think when I turned 45, my hair was about 50% white. And now at 54, I'm thinking that it's about 70% white now. And when my hair first really began to turn white, when I began to do the streaking, I was okay with it. I was okay with my locks having strands of white throughout them, or just at the scalp. You know, I was okay with that. But as I entered into my mid 40s, you know, I became a little paranoid, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. What is going on with my hair? It's not time yet. I'm not ready. And I learned that, you know, I had to get ready. But what I did was I started doing certain things, and it's called not accepting where you are in life. And those things that I did to my dreadlocks, you know, they cost me pretty much, you know, cost me a lot at the end of the day. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about here's the question. Should I bleach or color my hair? The answer is always, you have to do what makes you feel good. You have to do what's best for you. And I had to do what was best for me at that moment. But what I thought was actually best for me turned out to be one of the worst periods of my dreadlock journey. Oh my God. One of the worst periods of my dreadlock journey was when I decided that I wanted to be a blonde. I decided to go blonde. I decided, since my hair was going white, that going maybe a platinum, if I could do that for a while until all of my hair turned white, that it would look cute, and then I wouldn't have to look, you know, like an old lady. I wouldn't have to look like the crone that I am. And that turned into a disaster. Okay. Now, let me preface that with the fact that throughout my hair journey, I have gone blonde many times. So I was already familiar with the process of dyeing or coloring and stripping your hair to become a blonde. I was already, I already knew that what the process entailed. And I have gone blonde. Okay, check this out. I have gone blonde. I have gone blonde and all of my hair is falling out. True story, true story, true story. Hey, you know what? The 80s was a tough time. The 80s was a trip for me. So yes, I am experienced with dyeing and coloring your hair. And then my aunt is a cosmetologist, so any questions and things that I have had about the process of dyeing my hair or coloring my hair, she's always a phone call away to advise. So this time when I decided to, get things together to dye my hair, or to dye and color it or bleach it and color it, it's just a little bit different. And the reason why is because of all of this. Because I had a lot of this going on. I had a whole lot of hair. And at the time, my hair was a lot longer. So when I decided to do go into the whole process of dyeing my hair, it was just, it was something else. It was really something else. But it was a learning experience for me because, I learned some things. And what I learned is that when you bleach your hair, what you're actually doing is you're stripping the melanin from your hair. And the fact of the matter is that when your hair begins to, go white or gray, that signals, the loss of melanin already. So my hair was basically, 45-50% white, and then I stripped it further, and I stripped the black of the melanin. And what I essentially did was I weakened my hair. I weakened my locks. And I had a mishap. And my hair turned orange. And so my crazy self, what did I do? I went back to the drawing board and I re-bleached my hair. True story. I re-bleached it. And yes, some of my hair, some of my locks fell out. Yes. And after I lightened my hair to the point that I wanted it to be, and I stopped the process and I began to, I began to put conditioners in my hair, conditioners on top of my locks. Bad move. And you know why that was a bad move? Well, first of all, with all the chemical, with the bleaching, what the bleaching does to your locks is actually straighten your hair. So you see your hair is already locked and or nappy or curled. And just imagine I'm putting bleach on top of my hair. And so the bleach does what? It straightens my hair. And it does. It straightened it. Now, I'm not saying that I had a hair or just straightened hair. What I'm saying is that certain parts of my locks, my hair was straight, and that was a hot mess because I had to relock it, and it was just a mess. I'm just being honest. It was just a mess. The ends of my hair began to straighten. And I'm really thinking it's because of my hair texture, because I am of African, Native American, and Chinese descent. So I have the texture of my hair is already a wavy type of pattern. So when I put the bleaching, I bleached my hair. It just straightened. It just straightened my hair. It was a hot mess. And then after a week or so, my hair began to shed. My hair began to shed, and it began to break off. Yes. Then it became dry as straw. And so when I would condition it, and what does conditioners do? Okay, oh, that's what I forgot to tell you. I bleached my hair, and my hair became straight. My locks became straight. We're straightened. Then I had the audacity to put conditioner on top of that. What does conditioner do? Now, some people say, well, conditioner, it makes your hair strong. It does this and that and the other. Yeah. But what conditioners actually do is detangle the hair. So if I'm putting a detangler on top of something that was already straightened, what sense does that make? And the conditioner was not, I repeat, the conditioner is not going to strengthen your hair after you have basically burned it and ruined it and baked it, and then you're going to put a conditioner on top of that. Oh, the mistakes that I made. And so even though I was looking cute, even though I had my blonde locks were looking good, and I had them nice and curled, a little bit tighter than what these are today. They were all curled and they were looking cute, and I was taking all these pictures. I was like, oh, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. But basically, when I would go into the mirror, I would look in the mirror, I would find a lock, looking poorly, or my hair felt awful. When I say my hair felt awful, my locks felt awful. They were so dry. It was like straw. There were some mornings I would wake up and my lock would just be on the pillow because it would have, just broken off. When you take the chance of bleaching your hair, yes, it's wonderful. It's a cute thing, but actually the damage that you do to your hair from bleaching, it's not worth it. Eventually, my hair grew out, of course, longer, and my hair began to thin, and then my hair began to break off, and it would just pop off in the craziest places. And then I began to get annoyed and a little frustrated because I was leaving hair everywhere, and that is not cool, if you know what I'm talking about, because, there are people out here that like to do things with just a little swab, just a little sample of your hair. Did you know that? But that's a topic for another day. But I just became paranoid about my hair breaking off in public. So, I just felt like what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? And as my hair began to grow out, and the white and the black was coming down, and then of course the blonde was coming, going further and further, and growing further and further down in length. You could just see it. You could just see my hair was damaged. And it was just so frustrating, and it was irritating, and it was sad to me. And I was just, not happy until eventually I had to cut that away. I had to cut that off. And eventually it got to a point where I had to cut it. And then I had to cut it away, and I had to cut it all the way up to, up to my chin level. No, actually it was up to my ear. I cut my hair, I let my hair grow out, and then I had to eventually cut all of that off. And that was a lot of length gone because of my obsession with not just letting my hair age, or simply putting a nice semi-permanent hair coloring in my hair, such as black. and that's what I did eventually. I went ahead and dyed my hair, a nice warm black, a color that was more palatable to, what my natural hair color was. And then it just, what the color of my eyebrows is what the color of my hair was then. And so I just went ahead and, colored my hair with a semi permanent hair color, which was black. And that's what I did. But would I ever bleach my hair again? Oh no. And I would not advise anyone who has dreadlocks to bleach their hair, because what it does is it damages your hair. It destroys your locks. It burns your locks. It kills them. It kills your locks. And what happens is wherever it is that you first applied the bleach to, the damage is going to show up, and you will really get a chance to see it as your hair grows, because as all of that new growth comes in, you'll get to see the nice, beautiful virgin texture of your hair, and you'll be able to compare that to the texture of your hair that's been colored or that's been bleached. So I was looking good in all of these pictures with my cute blonde locked hair, my curl blonde hair. I was looking cute and amazing and all of those things, but at the end of the day, my hair was falling out. My hair was dry. My hair felt like straw. No matter what I put in it to make it soft, and there was nothing that I could do. It was terrible, Hair falling off at the library, hair falling out, popping out at the grocery store, hair falling out in the car. I mean, it was terrible. It was just very, very frustrating. And I promised myself that I would not do that again. And I would not advise anyone else to do that. If you need to dye your hair, maybe color it with some type of semi-permanent color. I will also advise you go to a person who is experienced with putting color onto dreadlocks. That's another thing. Because if you don't have anyone, if you're doing it yourself, and you're not really experienced with color, then you're going to have a hot mess on yourself, and you're going to really end up damaging your hair even further. So my best advice, should you color your dreadlocks? That's a personal decision. But if you decide to do so, go to a cosmetologist and let the cosmetologist color your hair. Should you use bleach on your locks? Absolutely not. No. Not at all. Do not, I repeat, do not bleach your locks. And this is probably going to be the only time that I advise no, instead of it's your personal choice. Because what the bleach does is it basically kills your locks. And that's not what you want to do. You do not want to suffer through what I suffered through with having bleached locks, and the aftermath of having bleached locks, which ended up with me having to cut them away, which ended up having me to just cut the length of my hair by 60%. It was terrible. So if you need to color your hair, go ahead and do so. Let a professional do it. If you're thinking about bleaching your hair, please don't do it. Do not do it. I do not advise it. And if you are a woman of a certain age, here's some more advice. Just accept that you are where you are in life, and be appreciative of the fact. Be excited to even have reached the age that you have found yourself at. It's okay. I'm 54 and I'm proud to be 54. And I see the white on my head. That's fine. I'm good with that. Until next time, this is Nell from Simply Nell. Have a wonderful day.